Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It is November 12th, 2024, and it's Tuesday. Before we start in to our normal session, I've got a couple of things I would like to announce. The first is tomorrow is our regular Wednesday discussion on Discord. However, we are having a special today at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So this is after the markets close and after Greg's live. But today's discussion is going to be a special with Rich. We are going to be going over some different areas in relation to homesteading, alternate energy resources, some things that you would like to do. So if you've got some questions about that, feel free to join us there. It's going to be very interesting. I believe there's quite a few subjects that are very practical that we're going to cover there. So with that, please join Rich and I there. The other thing I would like to bring up is the rapid rise of Bitcoin. And while it got close to 90,000, I don't believe we hit that mark. So Lance, our bet continues, at least for now. Thank you so much to all of those of you that support this channel so much. Doug, thank you kindly, and Stephanie and Shannon for moderating for me. Really appreciate all of your work. So with this, let's get started. We have our MMRI favored risk indicator, the Manorino market risk indicator, rising a bit yesterday as the stocks rose again. So with this, we've got more greed in the market. The fear greed meter is at 69 at the moment. These came along with the dollar. We could not watch the 10-year yield because the bond market was closed. So with this, we had the dollar basically weaker, and that let the market run a bit more, not to mention smart tech stocks and move there. So right now, sentiment, we've got this stretched market still continuing with what they're calling as the Trump trade. The markets are now today getting a bit more pressure from bonds. So the futures looking a bit down. So it's showing that there's very likely a bit of pullback today. Could go from there again, but at least temporarily is going to be some pullback. Now, with the relative strength of the dollar and the US 10-year yield are now gaining strength, that will also lend pressure on the markets. We've got cryptocurrency is getting a little pressure, as I said, almost hit that 90,000 level overnight. But as we're doing this, Bitcoin has retraced back down to 86,900 plus. We've got Ethereum still high in XRP. So Bitcoin nearing this 90,000 level, saying frenzied buying, pushing markets to new highs, and also that it could continue from here. However, usually nothing goes in a straight line, so I think there's going to be a pullback opportunity for this. We've also had gold under pressure lately, and I think that's buying opportunity. Probably won't last very long. So the sentiment right now is that this stretched market's getting more pressure from bonds. Bond market is open today, was closed yesterday. So I kind of let things run as well. We've got lower futures, as I was saying, but we've got to watch the currency trades. Now, the currency trades are really become a large story here, a large factor, as it is revealing the flow of capital back and forth between what is going on with the trade directly. Now, today, we've got the euro and the Great British pound are both weak in relation to the yen and the US dollar. Now, when you have a strong currency, that means your market is going to come down in prices and makes it for a weak market. And that's part of what is going on. The dollar is strengthening today, and we're going to watch a weak market coming into this. So watching these currency wars, it affects the markets, but also affects trade in a similar fashion. So as we've got these countries running deficits on their trade, this weakening of the currency, if you will, or strengthening as you want for the pricing of the markets is a really huge kind of quiet factor, just like inflation. So we've got one other story we'd like to bring up, and this is Chinese microchip company saying that it's now accepting Bitcoin as payment. So again, longer term bullish on cryptocurrency. So, with all of this going on in the background, we've got Europe talking about that they must prepare for a new trade war with the United States. Now, this is because of the new presidency that will be coming in. They have been used to the easy money, open trade, and manipulation of central banks. So, with this, I would like to speak about the central bank just for a moment. Someone brought up a really good question yesterday. The question was, if all the central banks work together, they're basically working in lockstep, then how are we having these massive currency devaluations and the currency wars? And the answer is the currency wars are the very reason why they must basically work in lockstep and collaborate. So they said, JPEL came out saying that they do not collaborate, and yet very clearly they do. And the reason is if one of them should step out of line too far, then it will cause much more disruptions and many more distortions in between the two. And there will be basically a lot of carnage in that marketplace. So, with this, we've got the calendar of the earnings that we're expecting out. This is for today prior to market open after the close. And then Wednesday prior to open, Hut 8 is a cryptocurrency company, another mining. So, another one to watch with some of these others. Now, for the calendar, we're watching the basically Fed presidents today speaking, a lot of them, but really our eyes are on the CPI, which is coming out prior to the market open in the morning. So core inflation back in the crosshairs to be watching prior to markets opening tomorrow. And then a lot of Fed speakers. And I believe after that, more Fed speakers. So, as I was saying earlier, the euro parity with the dollar is the big new call by currency analysts. Now, we've been talking about this with the yen carry trade and some of the other fluctuations in the currency markets that have been going on. And now I suppose it looks as if it's gaining traction with some other analysts are finally paying attention as that is what's going on in the background. Okay, with this, some other stories. We've got MicroStrategy's Bitcoin portfolio. They had massive inflow. Now their return on investment, well over 100%, doing very well. Okay, we've got, here's another backdoor kind of trade, and it is with oil. The global energy market does dictate pricing on many things. We had OPEC come out cutting the global oil demand growth forecast for fourth consecutive month. They are pricing in lower demand, which means basically a recession, global recession coming. This is one more factor that is foreshadowing that, if you will. Couple of other things. Amazon stepping up efforts to build artificial intelligence chips that can rival NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, of course, has been the large story in the tech news, but we've got Amazon Web Services. They want to step up their own and not be dependent upon NVIDIA. They are running massive storage centers as well as artificial intelligence centers. So these power hungry and need many chips. We've got also Russia and Iran connecting their national payment networks. The integration of Mir and Shita. Now, these are their local ATMs, if you will. And they're using these can now facilitate electronic transfers. So whether you're in one country or the other, you can use your local ATMs and pull out the currencies, has an automatic pairing. Now, watch this to expand forward. We are looking forward to CBDCs and one national currency, one national payment. So globally, this is expanding. A couple of other tinfoil things I want to bring up before I let it go to the markets. The first one is NASA video revealing gravity waves. This over Florida during the Hurricane Helene. Now, a lot of speculation over what these are exactly. They're saying gravity, but there were also some elements of magnetism as well as a few other things coming through here. So a lot of speculation as to whether these were partially responsible for intensifying the effects of this storm. Some of the things that we speak about and we can discuss over in Discord, not necessarily so much on YouTube. So feel free, again, join us there. And we've got this last one I wanted to bring up. They have just noticed that the military Israel building along UN patrolled demilitarized zone in Syria. They're saying the cover stories that they're building a road, but if this is true, this is one of the first roads that I've seen built that they have dug such a large trench for prior to it. Seems more like that would be the predecessor for a canal, if you would. So if you want to look up any of these things, do your own research. But hopefully this brings you something to kind of think about and look forward to. If you're in the markets, wish you a wonderful trading day. Still green, basically, is what it's looking at the open, but a bit of chop and recovery. Later is what is the possibility, probability, not a guarantee. So with that, enjoy your day, and until I see you again, stay free.